Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how to do 10 different black and white nail designs. And I mean, most of these are pretty easy. There are a few that are a little bit more challenging, but I feel like none of them are actually hard. So yeah, oh, also, I got a new background. I got a few different colors just because I know my white nails were blending in with my white background, so I got pink. So first I wanted to run through all of the nail polish I'll be using because I know I never do that, my bad. But the first nail polish I'll be using is Essie First Base as my base coat. And then I'm actually using two whites throughout this video because one was running out. So the first white I'm using is actually this white from Urban Outfitters. I know, random, but I actually really like it. So I'll be using that and also OPI Alpine Snow. And then for my black nail polish, I'm using Essie Licorice. And then I'm also going to be using black acrylic paint for my details, and you'll see why. And then, wow, oh my gosh, I'm out of breath. And then I'll also be using Sally Hansen Big Matte Top Coat and then Sally Hansen Big Shiny Top Coat. Okay, so the first design are some palm tree branches, and I started by making a line going across my nail, and then I'm pretty much just making a bunch of lines coming off of that. And you don't want these to look neat. You want them to look kind of crazy and just kind of random because that's how branches are, you know? So I'm just making weird flicking motions going downwards, and then I'm going to do the same thing along the top. And I am using acrylic paint for this. You don't have to, but I feel like with acrylic paint it just kind of, it gets those weird strokes in there to make it look shadowy, if that, does that make sense? I don't know, but I just really like the effect it gives, so I would recommend doing that. And I got the acrylic paint and also this small brush from Michael's Craft Store. I actually meant to tell you guys about that. If you're ever looking for a small brush to use for nail art, go to Michael's Craft Store instead of Target or Sally's because it's so much cheaper. I think this brush cost me $2 maybe, and then I had a coupon. Yes, I used the coupon. It saved me like 40 cents, but yeah, you should get it from there. And that's pretty much it, you guys. Just make sure that you're really overlapping the lines that you're drawing. And then, yeah, I applied my matte top coat, and I really love how this came out. Not gonna lie, like I knew it'd look good, but it looks like an actual palm tree shadow. Like, oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. The next design is another palm tree because I just got back from California last week and I missed the palm trees, so that's why this is happening. But I mean, it's a little different. So for this one, you're going to start by making a line down the middle of your nail, and then you're going to draw 5 lines going off of that, and these do not have to look good because they're going to be covered up. So basically you're doing the same exact thing that I showed you in the last design. You're going to draw a bunch of lines going off of it, except these are going to be a lot smaller. So you're going to do that until it's full and it looks like a palm tree. My biggest tip for this design is make sure you have a small brush, or else it's not gonna work for you and it's gonna look like a blob. Oh, and also if you want to take this a step further, you can do an ombre background, which I absolutely love doing, but I just wanted to keep that whole black and white theme going. And then again, just add your top coat and you're done. And honestly, I might stop saying that because that's gonna get really repetitive really fast. So this next design is a geometric design, and I am using striping tape for this. You don't have to, but it honestly just makes your life so much easier and your lines just look so sharp and crispy. What? I don't know. But basically I just overlapped 2 pieces of striping tape in a random spot on my nail, and then I'm using the black nail polish and painting above it. And then as soon as I'm done painting on that black, I'm going to take my striping tape off because you do not want the nail polish to dry first because then it just looks really messy. So I'm going to do that. And I always forget to mention this, but whenever I'm using striping tape, I put a top coat over my nail polish first, and then I probably wait like 25 to 30 minutes for it to dry, which is pretty long, but I just want to be sure that my nail polish is completely dry so that when I take the striping tape off, it doesn't like rip off my nail polish. This next design is so random. I pretty much saw an eyelash on a pillow and I was like, ooh, I should put that on my nails. So I started out by making a curved line using acrylic paint, and I already had a top coat over that white base you see. So I just used a toothpick and just scratched it off, and I love doing this. It's like cheating, honestly. You just have to make sure you have a top coat on your nail, and you also have to make sure that it's acrylic paint and that the acrylic paint is completely dry before you use a toothpick to scratch it off. But yeah, I just did that and fixed my line. Look, it's like nothing happened. After that, I added little lines going off to be eyelashes, and then I ended up doing the same thing because I made them a little bit too thick, and honestly that was just me being picky about it. I didn't have to fix it, but I just wanted to. So yeah, that is it. I know this design is so just, I don't know, it's kind of weird, but I really like how it turned out. And then I ended up putting a matte top coat over that, and that is it. And also, for you people who don't use top coats, you don't have a choice if you're using acrylic paint, because if you don't use a top coat and you go to wash your hands, you'll have black stuff running all down your fingers. So unless you want that, make sure you use a top coat. This next design is just a random square on the bottom of, actually this isn't even a square, it's a rectangle on the bottom of my nail. And this is very similar to the geometric nail that I showed you guys. All you're gonna do is do an outline of striping tape to whatever shape you wanna make, and then fill it in with the black nail polish, and then rip off the striping tape as soon as you can. And for some reason I just didn't fill in the area all the way, partly because I couldn't really see what I was doing, so I had a few spots on the bottom that weren't filled in, so I just went back and filled that in with my brush. And then again, this one's pretty easy because after that you just apply your top coat and you're done. This next design is definitely one of my favorites because I just love white marble. So I am going to be using a makeup sponge for this, and you can get these at like Target, CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, pretty much everywhere. And I'm just taking a little bit of gray and dabbing that all over my nail in random places. It's kind of lines, but at the same time it's kind of just blobs. So I did that, and then I actually added a little bit too much gray, so I went back over it with a little bit of white just to make it not too gray. And then what I'm doing is I'm taking a small brush and I'm just making these really thin and random gray lines all over my nail. You don't want to make too many because I feel like marble doesn't have that many lines. And then after that, you're going to do the same exact thing, except this time you're going to use black acrylic paint or black nail polish. It really doesn't matter for this. And just kind of put them inside of the gray line. And then after that, I'm going to take my sponge again and randomly sponge on white and gray all over the nail, just to kind of cover some of that black and pretty much everything I just did, because you want it to look more realistic and not as harsh. And then for this, you do want to add a glossy top coat because, I mean, who wants matte marble? I feel like that just wouldn't look right. Okay, so I know I said that eyelash nail was different for me, but this one is definitely just not like anything I usually do. So it was actually inspired by this painting where they had just random paint strokes, and I was like, ooh, like that might be cute. So all I'm doing is taking a brush and just flicking my nail across, flicking the brush across my nail to make these paint strokes. And I'm using acrylic paint for this to give that paint effect. And I'm also using this brush that's kind of raggedy. You want to find a brush that has the bristles kind of messed up so you can get that effect, you know. But I just really like how this turned out. It's so abstract, like I feel artsy. Okay, so for this next design, it was actually inspired by a shirt I have, and I just feel like this whole video was just inspired by really random things. But I started out with a black base, and then I did kind of a checkerboard pattern with striping tape, and then I'm painting white over it. And with this, you really have to find an opaque white, and that's why I'm using the Urban Outfitters white, because it's actually really opaque with one coat, even though for some reason it smells like industrial paint or something. Not sure if I should be concerned or not, but it worked really well with this, so I'm okay with it. With this design, you really have to take off that striping tape fast, because since you're covering the whole nail, it starts drying even more, and it's just easier to mess up, because even though I take it off right away, there's a little bit of mess up spots I get. So I kind of just take a toothpick and push it back, scrape it off a little bit, and it actually works. You don't want to do it too hard because you don't want to mess up the square, but that's just what I do. And then for some reason, I just completely missed the bottom part. I didn't put the white all the way down to my cuticle, so I just took some white nail polish on a brush and filled that in. But this is my favorite design in the video. I love it. It just looks so, I don't know, it's just really cute. So for these next two designs, I just really wanted some designs for people who just wanted something really, really simple on their nails. So I decided to do a little heart in the corner, and I did already put a top coat on this. I just do this whenever I'm using acrylic paint. That way, if I do mess up or if I want to change something, I can just take a toothpick and scratch it off. And also, whenever you're going to draw something on your nail, it actually really helps to draw it on a piece of paper first a few times, just to get some practice. I don't know, I've been doing this for forever and it really does help. And then I did add a glossy top coat to this, and then for some reason my camera didn't want to focus on the heart, but I mean, you can kind of see it in the corner. And finally, for my lash design, I made a line. I really like quick and easy things that still look good, and this is definitely one of them. This probably took me maybe a minute, and all I did was use striping tape and then fill it in using black nail polish and then rip it off. And I did have a little bit of some black drag off of the striping tape. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I just took some white nail polish and fixed it up, and that's it. So that is it for this tutorial. I hope I gave you guys some nail inspiration. Let me know which one was your favorite, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!